Alright, what's going on, guys? gdoggcasey here, getting ready for another Final Fantasy XIV video for you today. We're going to be going through Sastasha hard mode with the Paladin tanking as usual, and how far we have come from way back when we started our dungeon tutorial guide thing in Sastasha. We have now come through all the way to hard mode, and there's only a few dungeons left in this in a Realm Reborn before we start moving on to Heavensward, so that's pretty good. So we're going to be going through it at a relatively slower pace here, unless people start complaining. I just find it a little more relaxing to just sit through and just handle each group one by one. And whenever I have my normal team together, you guys will be able to see us go through like much bigger polls and stuff like that. But when I don't have anyone from the free company with me, I like to just sort of go through nice and slow, you know, just like this. Now the sounds feel a little bit loud. I'm gonna turn things down again here. Hopefully that's alright. Hopefully you were able to hear me for the beginning part. Alright. So as usual, I mean, most of these hard mode dungeons are not actually hard. They just require you to play your class at least somewhat decently. So as usual, we're going through the basics here. We're just getting a flash off. We're rotating through the different enemies here, trying to apply Rage of Halone to at least each of them. And then at level 50, you really start to realize like how little you actually have to work with. Like, my bar is pretty full here, but there's not too many of these skills that we're going to be using on a normal basis. But the good news is we're almost done with the level 50 dungeons, and we'll be able to start moving on up. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So one flash here after a shield lob. Throw down a Circle of Scorn, use a this one as well, Spirits Within. Shield swipe when it's off of cooldown. Sometimes you can avoid the AoE, sometimes you can't. And just focus them down. Alright. I love this. Excuse me, Sastasha hard mode was actually the first hard mode I ever did. And I remember trying it because I figured, well, it would probably be one of the easier ones. I actually do not think that Sastasha hard mode is one of the easier ones. In fact, it's got one of the bosses in this dungeon throws me for a loop a little bit more than some other dungeons. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's the hardest one, but definitely wouldn't put it as the easiest either. But that said, I mean, you know, hard mode dungeons can only get so hard. They're all relatively simple. But it's pretty cool to be able to come back to the Sastasha aesthetic. We're going through what seem to be the same caves, the same types of enemies around. Although that'll switch up sooner rather than later, as we are already getting ready for our first boss. This guy is relatively simple. I can't remember the actual mechanics because it's actually been a little while since I've been here, but we'll survive. Face him away from the party, pop your cooldowns, get to work. Keep an eye out on what he does. We can focus him as well, just in case we have to target something else. Tail screw, looks like he chooses a party member to screw with his tail, and it does quite a bit of damage. So the healer should be on top of that, knowing when to heal somebody. We can use Rampart here just to help with our defense a bit. Whoops, used the wrong ability there. He's stunned me here. Tail screw. Yeah, basically just brings somebody down instantly. But then he gives them time to heal up, so it's not really a big deal. stunned again. I'm not sure if there's something that I can do about that. I don't actually think so. But it doesn't really matter because the boss is going to die, and we will move on. There he goes. Oh, went the wrong way here. We don't need this loot. It's the only guy. We're going to go pull someone else here. Might as well. Get a little excitement going on, you know? Looks like these enemies have the ability to push you around a little bit, which can be a tad annoying, but it's not the end of the world. You just gotta run back. And there we go. Couple treasure chests here. Just potions and such. I hate when I miss with my flash. It makes me feel like a major noob. Because you'll see, like, when you're playing with, like, a new tank, or a new paladin, I guess to be specific, you'll know they're new because they'll run up into the center of a pull, and instead of using shield lob, they'll just kind of run up and just throw out, like, an awkward-looking flash that doesn't hit anything. And you can see them sort of running around, flashing, trying to actually land a hit. I do that from time to time as well. It happens to everybody, but you can really tell when you have a new tank who's trying to get used to it that they struggle a little bit with the range on flash. So whenever I miss a flash, I think that's what I look like to the other people. When really, I'm the best and they need to recognize. Okay, this part, I think we want to focus down the drowned wench. I think. Because she will heal... or something. For some reason, we need to take her down first. These brines will make their way towards the center, and they will continuously explode. Maybe that's it. If I kill the wench, then that stops happening. It's one of those things. Well, the wench died, and the brines have stopped appearing. So maybe I was right. Alright, yeah, focus on the wench, you'll have an easy time. You don't have to mark, but it looks like the DPS we have on our team are all solid. Everybody on this team knows what they're doing, but I'll do it anyway just to sort of let them know my plans. And we'll come over here, throw a flash. We'll use a little bit of a defensive cooldown here, because I know I'm going to get hit with a couple explosions, so I might as well just make life on my healer a little bit easier. These cooldowns don't take much to pop, and they do a lot to help out, so there we go. Just because the mechanic is easy, it doesn't mean you shouldn't, you know, use your skills appropriately just to make life a little bit easier for your teammates. Just makes you look better, you know? You don't have to do that. You could probably get through without ever using Convalescence or even a defensive cooldown, maybe. But the healer will have to work a little harder. Alright, off we sprint. We're getting close to the second boss already here. There it is. Now, as a healer, I struggled with this because I kept getting caught by these soldiers. They end up having like a crawling variant where I guess they don't have legs or something, and they will grab onto you and latch you in place. And I don't remember if like you're stunned and you can't do any actions at all, or if there was something else. But as a tank, you have the ability to kind of control the fight a little bit. So if I see that kind of thing happening, all I'm going to do is try to just get those guys on me. So he targets somebody. I think he knocks them back, or I don't know, he does a charge or something. You can see me trying to explain what he does as he does it, like I knew what he was going to do, but I had to wait for him to actually do it before I could start explaining what it was. Yeah, so we got these ads over here, so I'm just going to come over here and flash. And get them all on me if I can. It's not the end of the world if you can't get all of them on you. because DPS is generally good enough to be able to target these guys down on their own. But again, if you can help out your team, you might as well, right? I'm going to save my Circle of Scorn here because I know there's going to be more ads around at some point. And it's going to help me get them all together. Yeah, this guy's going down pretty quick. Yeah, so here's some more ads. And here's some of the crawling variant here that I was talking about. I'm just going to run around and flash on them. And we got a couple over here that have been stunned, so we'll run over here. Oh, got knocked back here by the boss. We probably could focus the boss down, actually. Let's just do that. But you can see it gets... Oh, he ran off. Okay, well then never mind. I guess we're not focusing him down. Alright, ease up with the stun here, buddy. Okay, so yeah, see, this is where it gets like a little tough. Luckily, we're a big manly tank, and our healer's doing a good job. I got grabbed, so what it seems like is that when you get grabbed, you can still attack. And I guess the optimal strategy is that you want to target the person who is grabbing you so that you can kill them and then move on with your life. But in that case, you know, sometimes it's a bit hectic. You can't really see the enemy who's grabbing you, and you can't move, but you can attack, so you just start AoEing and stuff, and that's fine, because those enemies, if you do AoE attacks, they will die. So you saw there, it wasn't masterfully dealt with, but I always struggle with that boss, so, you know, it was good enough in my opinion. And on we go. Here, start building up threat on this guy. I'm not sure if that's sarcastic or not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe he's actually being nice about it. Okay. I mean, I felt like I was doing a decent job, but during that second boss, I always get a little, I'm not exactly sure the #1 way to deal with it is all. Oh, he's being nice about it. That's one commendation in the books. You can really, like, when you're a tank or when you're working with a tank, I feel like the tank is the one role that you can sense a newbie almost right away. And it's not a bad thing, right? Like, it's, I don't want to say it's tough to talk about, because it's not necessarily tough to talk about, but I don't want to sound like an asshole or anything. Like, I know that everybody starts somewhere, and we've all been that sort of floundering noob at times, right? But when you have a tank that is just floundering through the dungeon, and they're very slow to engage, and they just look real awkward as they're running around. Like, the other day, my wife and I were playing, and she was a healer, and she doesn't heal very often, so, you know, she was being a healer so that I could be a DPS, basically, and level up my Arcanist class a little bit. And we had a tank that actually had, like, a mentor icon and everything, but somehow they were just being, they were very, very slow. And they didn't want to lead in any fight. By the way, I should probably talk about this fight, because this actually turns into like a gigantic AoE-filled mess after a little bit. This is not all you have to face at this point. There are going to be a lot more enemies summoned in. So save your AoE abilities, if you can, because you're going to need them. But yeah, like, we were able to tell, like, this person was very new, you know? And if it's the tank that's very new and not setting the pace very well, it's very, very noticeable. And it slows the whole party down. Alright, here's all of this AoE we're talking about. We're going to jump out of that AoE, though. Looks like I missed a couple of these. These guys are very weak, though. So even if they get jumped on, or even if they jump on like the healer, you can still take them down pretty easily. We're gonna throw out a couple more flashes here. Our number one priority is making sure we get hit. Wow, I'm tanking the frame rate a bit there. That's never good. Use some cooldowns. I'm gonna have... Oh, actually, I do have this. Here we go. Look at that, the Paladin AoE ability. Look at how much damage it does. Like, next to nothing. But hey, might as well use it. Show it off. I found a use for it. These enemies are probably the weakest AoE enemies you'll ever face, where you actually have the ability to use that, that ability. So, I guess it kind of worked out well. Release the Kraken! Yeah, they went there. And there he goes. Bum, 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 bum. You can't laugh. You're dead too, bro. So this is the octopus boss, and it's also a bit of a mess. I'm still not... Like, I think I have the strategy down pat. You basically just run around and kill the arms until there's no arms to kill, and then you kill the boss. We can just tunnel boss? Okay. Okay, I have never tried that, but I am down to try it out. Alright. So we'll just tunnel the boss then. Cool, let's go. Maybe I'll switch to Sword Oath as well. Help with some extra damage. So we're just going to try to focus the boss down. I've never done it this way. I think it's very likely that when I come through here with other DPS and other... I guess I want to stand over by the side. And my healer and stuff, that I'll probably go through it like the more normal way. Usually you run around and just kill the arms and the tentacles and shit non-stop. But apparently people think our DPS is good enough to just focus them down, so we'll give it a try. Yeah, people are standing on the edge. I think that's because you can actually dodge some of the mechanics over here, so I'll stand over here too. You can always learn from what your teammates are doing if you're not quite sure. Follow the herd. Some people are fairly damaged over here. We got the boss halfway done. We will have one limit break available. And I have a whole slew of defensive cooldowns that I can use. I'll use Convalescence and Sentinel right now, just to try to help out. Yeah, it looks like it's working. No one, like the healer's caught up now. There was quite a few people damaged. We can use another defensive cooldown. Bulwark allows us to block more attacks. That'll probably help. And I still have Hollowed Ground for when I absolutely need it. I'll just pop it right now just for the hell of it. That's cool. Oh shit, everybody died? Oh my god. And I used Hollowed Ground kind of for no reason. Alright, I'm gonna have to come back over here. Alright, we're gonna use Rampart. Can we do it? Can we do it? Get out of the ink blot. Gonna use Flight or Flight for extra damage boost. Get out of the ink blot. I feel like I'm messing up my combo here. We got it. We got it. Clutch time. Boom, with the shield swipe for the kill. I don't normally do this, but I'm gonna do it this time. I don't normally do it, but I feel like every once in a while I want to just try it out. I feel like maybe my channel can benefit from a little bit of extra advertising, because I tend to not do it because I think that it's, I don't know if I think it's sleazy per se, but it's just something I don't generally like to do. But something tells me that these people might actually like to see that. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? We'll find out. If you guys are or were in this dungeon, then leave a comment down below. Let me know if that was actually successful. And if you enjoyed this video, check out some of the other ones, because there's a lot of tanking stuff here, there's a lot of healing stuff here, and there's a growing number of DPS stuff. Obviously, I'm still kind of new at the DPS, but we're on like episode 8 or 9 or something like that now. So anyway, guys, that was Sastasha hard mode from the Paladin perspective, tanking. And there you go. You can see it wasn't necessarily too tough. There was a couple bosses where the mechanics seem a little bit messy and kind of all over the place. During the final boss, I'm not sure it's better to just focus down the boss or not. Obviously, we managed to survive, but you might have a better time if you just deal with the mechanics, because it might be easier. You probably won't have, you know, 3 of your 4 party members wipe. But anyway, that's going to do it. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.